Let me also add. You mentioned the strange connections in cosmology in the universe, and how strange is it? On November 5th, the election is to take place. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot.
The gunpowder treason and plot. I know no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Well said, Tim. If you understood that reference, then you understand just how bizarre the world currently is right now and why it's absolutely fitting that today we're talking about V for Vendetta. For reference, it's 2024, an election year, and Election Day falls on the 5th of November, making this 2005 dystopian political action film the ideal film to watch in preparation for the apocalypse. Long gone are the days of easing political tensions between family and friends by watching political comedies like The Campaign, Team America, and Bruno. Those days are over. After this bill, it's straight up Mad Max Furiosa, Reign of Fire, and this V for Vendetta. This 2005 dystopian political action thriller set in a world where a mysterious virus decimates world populations, spiraling the US into a second civil war and giving rise to fascist government overreach. Let me once again remind you that this is a 2005 film. 2005. Like 15 years before 2020. This film may just be the second film to ever become a documentary. Shout out to Idiocracy for being number one. Production notes include Terry Crews' President clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of America! President Camacho! Shut up! Sit your monkey ass down. Chill out. Shit. I know shit's bad right now, with all that starving bullshit.
Oh my goodness, dude. If Kamala and Donald Trump had a baby, this is what it would be.
I got a solution.
That's what you said last time, dipshit.
Have you ever heard the saying, life imitates art? Keep that saying in mind as we review this film. V for Vendetta, a 2005 film set in a dystopian future where the world was plagued by a mysterious virus that decimated the population. This paved the way for a fascist government to come to power in Britain. They control the news, entertainment, culture, public opinion, and if anyone questions them, they get cancelled. Via house raid, black bag on head, dragged off in the middle of the night to a, what we would call in 2024, a re-education camp. You know, the Clinton way of doing things. Their power is beyond questioning and challenging. That is until... someone blows up the old Bailey building, a symbolic representation of the fascist strength. The following day, the man who did this takes control of a broadcasting station and sends out a message to the public, inviting them, all the people, to rise up against the fascist overlords and take back their lives 1 year from the day on November 5th. Outside the House of Parliament, the symbolic building of the fascist control, to give it a rather kinetic makeover. The mysterious vigilante crosses paths with a very broken woman named Evie. She gets caught up in his escape and quickly gets labeled a fugitive and his accomplice. To save her from the fascist torture, the masked man takes her with him. The more she learns about him, the more complex and puzzling he turns out to be. He doesn't seem to know his real name and simply goes by V and never takes off his mask. She sees him once with his gloves off, revealing a harshly burned hand, implying that the rest of him is just as such. He lives in a deep, underground, abandoned train station. However, it resembles more of a museum, filled with things like books and films and all sorts of unique art, likely deemed contraband. The wisdom of these books and films is reflected back through his personality. He's savvy with words and poetry. He's affectionate and caring towards Evie, but also hell-bent on revenge to get back on the people that wronged him and experimented on him, turning him into this scarred mystery. This film is an epic take on what it means to rise up against the corrupt government, which is why in today's world many people will wear his mask. But unlike V, these people are a bunch of uncultured fucking dorks, overweight, living in their mom's basement, watching anime, and couldn't throw a punch if their life depended on it. I'm just out here fighting the man. Down with the system, bro. Heroes, all of them. Hugo Weaving plays the masked vigilante, and holy shit is he good. You wouldn't think it would take much to do this gig, but after watching it, you realize just what a professional actor can do. You get a sense of stoicism from the character that will suspend your judgment of his action. You get the impression that he's thought it through and is philosophically in the right. Evie, played by Natalie Portman, delivers an excellent performance as well. Her character goes through a rather vicious transformation from a broken, shell-shocked, feeble woman to a confident, fearless rebel capable of taking care of herself and enduring the consequences of doing the right thing. It's one of the most truly well done character arcs in cinema, especially in regards to female characters. Something this bitch knows nothing about. This film stands out in many ways. It's a comic book adaptation, political thriller, and a dystopian provocateur that will have you questioning your relationship with your government and their overreach.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
And you're going to make that happen by blowing up a building?
The building is a symbol, as is the act of destroying it. Symbols are given power by people. Alone, a symbol is meaningless, but with enough people, blowing up a building can change the world.
Though V is driven by his compellment to free the people from their government tyranny, and in a sense this is a revolutionist film, kinda like if Mel Gibson's The Patriot was set in a dystopian today, I would argue that above all of that, at its heart, it's a revenge film. The people who wronged him and inadvertently created him are now the people in power, in media, in health, in church, and government. So it's his intent to take them all down. The genius of this film is that you will find yourself asking if he's doing it for the people's liberation or his own personal vendetta. Considering the film's title and all else, you'll realize that the ultimate revenge against this particular group of antagonists is the relinquence of their power and the people's liberation. This makes it one of the greatest revenge films of all time. One of the best parts about this film, and the thing it does incredibly well, is show you how some people seek to preserve art. When doing so, risks incarceration. There's a scene where Evie is hiding out at the house of a colleague, and he reveals to her a secret room filled with all sorts of contraband, religious materials, art mocking the government, and explicit images. We've seen a similar scene in the 2002 dystopian action classic Equilibrium, where such materials are sought out to be destroyed. This alludes to the power such things have within them. These works have the power to inspire, to provoke, to evoke thoughts, hope, and questions. Such dangerous actions can undermine the power regime and thus are perceived a threat. But of course our corrupt governments don't have to worry about that because our museums are filled with mindless dog shit like the works of Rothko. And of course if you say it sucks, some fucking pronoun will show up and tell you that you're wrong, uncultured, and just lacking an open mind to appreciate the holistic wisdom hidden behind every brushstroke. And coincidentally, this is the same bitch that told me that I should not laugh at, nor can I take pictures of, the wall of invisible art! Where's the Just Stop Oil people when you need them?
Security?
What is worth more, art or life?
Still think bullying doesn't have a place in society? Yeah, me too. This film certainly provides a lot to think about. I remember watching it in theaters back in the day and afterwards walking out and thinking, that was fun, but holy smokes, that world is a bit stretched. We'll never see a second civil war in the US, curfews, mysterious virus, fascism, a forcible suppression of opposition, biased media propaganda, government overreach, Rage Against the Machine on tour again, Down syndrome Barbie, and government overreach, certainly not in my lifetime. Oh, silly me, sweet little 15-year-old me. Nevertheless, when it comes to V for Vendetta, this film is a must-see. This is one of those movies that'd be perfect if Netflix could get it and create a limited one-season series out of it. Same goes for Equilibrium for that matter. Probably won't happen, but hey, a girl can dream.
Remember when Anonymous on 4chan gathered around, was marching down the streets of all these major cities wearing Guy Fawkes masks?
Yeah.
During Occupy Wall Street, people maintained the Guy Fawkes mask. Guy Fawkes, this was largely from V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
A movie about an anarchist revolutionary who overthrows the tyrannical British government that seized power through a fake viral infection that they manufactured, controlling quarantine zones.
Yeah.
Making sure people can't go out at night. Creating militaristic fingermen who could do whatever they wanted. And people wore these masks and chanted, "Remember, remember the 5th of November." And as it was, I can't remember, what's the actor's name who played V?
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving. And he says, if you see as I see, and if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then meet me 1 year from today on the steps of Parliament on November 5th.
Yes.
And I remember thinking it's fascinating because so many young people were like, yeah, and I was like, Guy Fawkes was a theocratic revolutionary. He wanted to overthrow Parliament to install a Christian theocracy. Why are you young liberals cheering for this guy? It seemed seemingly nonsensical. They didn't know what they were cheering for, but millennials had it hard-coded in their mind, November 5th, and now we stand at the precipice of chaos, and it is November 5th, the date the election is to take place.
Damn.
Now that's it for today. Now I know what all of you are thinking. Alex, this review is incredible and your wisdom is impeccable, but who are you voting for? Well, after doing this review, I think there's only one obvious candidate. President Camacho!
Fuck yeah! Now give me a beer. And get you one too. Shit! Hold on, Vato!